Okay, I have to admit something embarrassing. I can sing the entire chorus of a song from when I was 12 years old. Every word. Perfectly.
Wait, which song?
I'm not telling you. That's not the point.
Okay, fair.
The point is, I studied Spanish for 3 years in school. 3 years, Sam, and I can barely remember 10 words now.
But the song stayed.
The song stayed. Every single word. And I didn't even try to memorize it. It just happened.
That's actually kind of unfair, if you think about it.
Right? I worked so hard on that vocabulary. Flashcards, lists, repeating words out loud, and a song I heard on the radio beat all of that without even trying.
Okay, now I want to know why.
Me too, honestly, because it makes no sense on the surface. I put in years of effort on one side and basically zero effort on the other.
And the zero effort side won by a mile.
By a mile, so either my brain is broken, or there's something about songs that vocabulary lists just don't have.
I'm going to guess it's not that your brain is broken.
I'm hoping not, yeah.
Honestly, the same thing happens to me. I can barely remember what I studied for a test last month, but a jingle from a commercial I saw as a kid still plays in my head sometimes.
A commercial jingle. That's even worse than a song, in a way.
Right? I didn't even like the product. My brain just decided to keep it forever, for no obvious reason.
So something is clearly happening with how our brains sort what to keep and what to throw away.
And it seems like it has almost nothing to do with how hard we try.
Which honestly makes me a little less annoyed at my younger self. I wasn't lazy, I just didn't know what my brain was actually asking for.
None of us really do, until we stop and look at it properly.
This is Door to English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're figuring out why your brain protects song lyrics like they're treasure, but lets vocabulary just slip away.
Actually, before we go further, I want to ask you something, and I want to ask everyone watching too.
Go ahead.
Is there a song in your first language or in English where you still remember every word, even years later?
Ooh, good question.
Drop it in the comments. I actually read them, and I want to see what songs stuck with people.
I'll go first. Actually, once we get there, I have a very specific song in mind.
Now I'm curious again.
Later. Let people guess.
Fine. And hey, if you're the kind of person who likes figuring out why your brain does what it does, not just memorizing rules, this channel is kind of built for that. So it might be worth hitting subscribe before we keep going.
No pressure, just saying it's there.
We'll be back to it either way.
Okay, back to the mystery.
Right, so let's actually figure out what's going on here.
Let's break it down piece by piece. So here's what confuses me. I repeated those Spanish words over and over. That's supposed to work, right?
You'd think so. Repetition is what everyone tells you to do.
Every teacher I ever had said the same thing. Repeat it, and it'll stay.
And for you, it just didn't.
It really didn't. I'd repeat a word 10 times in class, get it right on the test, and forget it completely by the following month.
Exactly. But repeating a word on a flashcard and hearing a song on repeat, they don't feel the same to your brain.
Why not? They're both repetition.
Because one is forced and the other is chosen. Let me tell you a story. When I was learning French, my teacher made us repeat each word 20 times. 20 times out loud in a row.
That sounds exhausting.
It was, and I forgot almost all of them by the next week. But that same year, I heard a French song, maybe 5 times total, just 5 times, and I still remember the opening line.
5 versus 20 and 5-1.
5-1. Because I wasn't repeating it to pass a test. I was repeating it because I wanted to hear it again.
That's interesting, because I've noticed the same thing with movie lines. There's a line from a film I watched once, years ago, and I still quote it sometimes.
Just from watching it once?
Just once. But I laughed so hard at that moment, I think I replayed it in my head afterward without even trying. Almost like my brain repeated it for me.
So your brain did the repeating on its own because you cared about that moment.
Exactly. Nobody made me repeat that line 20 times. I just wanted to relive it.
So it's not about how many times, it's about why you're repeating it.
It reminds me of when I was learning guitar, actually. My teacher wanted me to practice scales every day, and I hated it, and I barely improved.
But
But there was one song I wanted to learn so badly. I practiced the same 4 chords probably 100 times that week, completely on my own.
and those 4 chords are still in your fingers now.
Completely. Meanwhile, I couldn't play those scales today if you paid me.
That's the insight. Repetition without a reason behind it barely leaves a mark. Repetition with desire behind it carves in deep.
Okay, that actually reframes flashcards for me a little.
Right? It's not that repetition is useless. It's that forced repetition is weak and chosen repetition is strong.
So even the number of repetitions almost doesn't matter as much as we think.
Not nearly as much. A word you hear once but really want to hear again can beat a word you were forced to say 20 times in a row. Okay, here's my theory on the song thing. I think melody does something a plain sentence can't do.
Say more.
Well, think about how strange it is that you can forget a phone number you just heard 30 seconds ago, but you can sing a chorus from years back without missing a beat.
That is strange when you put it that way.
So something about the song format is doing extra work that a phone number or a plain word list just doesn't get.
And it's not like song lyrics are simpler than a phone number. Sometimes they're way more complicated, way more words.
Which makes it even stranger that they're easier to hold on to.
So it's not about complexity at all. It's about something structural underneath the words themselves.
So think about it. A vocabulary list is just flat. Word, 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 no shape. But a melody has a shape. It goes up, it goes down. It has a rhythm you can feel before you even understand the words.
Like a map for your memory.
That's a nice way to put it, actually. A map you don't even realize you're following. Kind of, yeah. I used to work at a summer camp, and we taught kids camp songs every year. Some of those songs, I still remember word for word, and I haven't sung them in over 10 years.
10 years is a long time.
It is, but because the melody rises at a certain point, my brain almost predicts what word comes next. The tune tells me before my memory even has to work.
So the melody is doing some of the remembering for you.
Exactly. A word on its own is just floating there. A word inside a melody has a rhythm holding it in place.
That's such a clean way to put it. Melody gives language a skeleton to hang on to.
And a flashcard has no skeleton. It's just word, translation, word, translation.
No wonder it slides right out of your head.
Haha, it's funny because I've tried to test this on myself. I'll try to recite a poem I memorized in school, no melody at all, just words in a row.
How does that go?
Badly. I get maybe the first 2 lines, then I completely lose it. But if I try to sing a song from that same era, I can usually get through the whole thing.
Same brain, same amount of time passed, completely different result.
Right, and the only real difference is the shape underneath the words.
It makes me wonder if that's why nursery rhymes work so well on little kids too. They're basically just melody wrapped around simple words.
That's probably exactly why. Kids don't study those rhymes. They just hear the shape a few times, and it sticks for life.
Not nearly as much. A word you hear once but really want to hear again can beat a word you were forced to say 20 times in a row. Okay, but melody can't be the whole story, because some songs I've heard 100 times and I still don't remember the lyrics.
True, so there has to be something else.
Like, there are songs that play constantly in stores or on the radio, and I couldn't tell you a single line even after hearing them all year.
So melody alone clearly isn't enough to guarantee it sticks.
Not even close. There has to be another ingredient.
So melody gets a word into your head, but something else has to decide whether it's worth keeping.
Exactly, and I think I know what that something is.
Go on, tell me.
Give me a second. I want to set this up properly because it's a good story. I think it's emotion. Let me give you an example. There's a song that was playing the night I found out I got into university. I remember exactly where I was standing.
Oh, I love this kind of memory.
And I remember every word of that song, even the verses, not just the chorus. But there are songs from that same year played just as often that I've completely forgotten.
So what's different?
That one moment mattered to me. It was tied to something big happening in my life. My brain basically stamped that song as important because of the feeling attached to it.
So it's not really about the song. It's about what was happening in you while you heard it.
That's it exactly. Emotion is the glue. Without it, even a good melody can slide away. With it, even a boring line becomes permanent.
That explains why flashcards feel so forgettable. There's no moment attached. It's just a word on its own, with nothing around it.
Right. No story, no feeling, nothing for your brain to hold on to.
I actually have one of these too. There's a song that always reminds me of a road trip with my old roommates. We must have played it 50 times that week.
50 times. Wow.
But it's not really the song I remember. It's the whole trip. The song just happens to carry all of that with it.
So when the song plays now, you're not just hearing lyrics.
No, I'm back in that car, with the windows down, laughing at something stupid one of my friends said.
That's the glue doing its job. The emotion attached itself to the words, and now you can't separate them even if you wanted to.
Which kind of means the song was never really the important part. It was just the container the memory was riding in.
A container for the feeling. And feelings, it turns out, are what your brain protects the hardest.
Here's one more piece, though. I don't think we only remember songs because we hear them. I think it's because we do something with them.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the difference between watching someone else cook and cooking a meal yourself. You remember your own cooking way better.
Because you did it, not just watched it.
Right. And that difference between doing and watching turns out to matter a lot more than we usually give it credit for.
Exactly. And I think songs work the same way, even when we don't realize we're doing anything.
I actually saw this happen in a classroom once too. A teacher had her students act out a scene using new vocabulary instead of just writing it down.
How'd that go?
Months later, those same students still remembered the words from that scene way better than words from any regular lesson that year.
Because they weren't just students that day. They were actors, moving around, saying lines like they meant them.
Think about it. You sing along, you clap, maybe you dance a little, even if it's bad dancing.
My dancing is definitely bad.
Haha, mine too. But the point is, a song pulls your whole body in. A vocabulary list just sits there. You read it, maybe you say it once, and that's it.
So the song has action attached to it, and the word list doesn't.
Exactly. When I was a teenager, my friends and I would sing along to English songs in the car, badly, way too loud. I learned phrases from those songs that I never learned from any textbook.
Because you weren't just hearing them, you were performing them.
Right, and performing something, even badly, makes it stick way harder than just reading it silently.
So the real insight is, the more you use a word out loud with your body, with other people, the more your brain treats it like it matters.
And a flashcard usually asks for none of that. Just your eyes and your memory, working alone.
It reminds me of dance classes, actually. I took a few dance lessons a while back, and the instructor always said the same thing.
What did she say?
She said, your body remembers before your brain does. And I thought that was strange at first, but it turned out to be true. I could do the steps before I could even explain them.
So doing something physically kind of writes it into you differently than just thinking about it.
Exactly. And singing is the same kind of thing. Your mouth, your breath, maybe your hands tapping along, all of that is doing the remembering with you, not just your brain alone.
Which a silent flashcard session just doesn't offer.
Not even close. It asks you to sit still and stay quiet, which is basically the opposite of how songs get learned.
So maybe the fix isn't a new app. Maybe it's just standing up and actually saying the word like you mean it.
Okay, if this is starting to make sense for you, actually watching your own habits a little differently now, that's exactly the moment to pay attention to.
Because here's the thing we keep circling. You don't remember what you repeat. You remember what you feel.
That's it. That's the whole idea in one line.
So if you've been frustrated with yourself for forgetting vocabulary, this might be why. It was never really about effort.
It was about whether the word ever touched anything real in you.
And once you notice that, you can't really unnotice it. You start looking at your own study habits differently.
I know I did, honestly, just from thinking about this with you right now.
It's one of those ideas that seems obvious once you say it out loud, but almost nobody actually applies it to their own studying.
Which is exactly why it's worth slowing down on for a second.
Let's actually walk through what this looks like in a real day, because I think it'll make this land even more.
Okay, picture this. It's 7 in the morning, Monday. You wake up, and the first thing you do is open your English app.
10 new words. Translation on one side, English word on the other.
You read them, you repeat each one twice. It takes maybe 5 minutes, and honestly, your brain is still half asleep.
By 7:30, while you're brushing your teeth, 3 of those words are already gone.
8 o'clock, you're on the bus, and a song comes on through your headphones. You've heard it before, so you start mouthing the words without even meaning to.
You're not trying to learn anything, you're just enjoying the ride.
By noon, you're humming that same song without thinking about it. The chorus is just there, in your head, uninvited.
3 in the afternoon, you're at work or in class, and someone mentions the song. You immediately start singing the next line, without even meaning to.
Meanwhile, if someone showed you those 10 flashcard words right now, at 3 o'clock, you'd probably hesitate on at least half of them.
5 in the evening, you're cooking dinner, and the song comes back into your head again, uninvited, for the 3rd time that day.
And each time it comes back, it's basically repeating itself for you, for free, without any app reminding you.
Meanwhile, nobody's brain randomly whispers a flashcard word to them while they're chopping vegetables.
Haha, no, definitely not. Flashcards don't exactly earn a place in your imagination like that.
Now here's the interesting part. 9 at night, you sit down to review your 10 vocabulary words again, like you're supposed to.
And you realize you only really remember 2 of them clearly.
But if someone asked you to sing that chorus from the bus, right now, at 9 at night, you could do it with 0 effort.
Same day, same brain. 2 completely different results.
Because one of them had melody, emotion, and repetition you actually chose. The other had none of that.
Now let's add a second day into this picture. Tuesday morning, same routine, 10 new flashcard words, and a new song on the bus.
By Tuesday evening, you're already mixing up some of Monday's flashcard words with Tuesday's. They're starting to blur together.
But Monday's song and Tuesday's song stay completely separate in your head. You'd never confuse one chorus for another.
Which makes sense, really. Each song came with its own little moment, its own mood, its own shape. The flashcard words never got any of that, so they just blend into a pile.
Let's jump ahead one more time. It's 1 week later, same routine every single day.
70 flashcard words reviewed so far, 7 songs played on repeat during the commute.
If you tested yourself on the flashcard words right now, you'd probably struggle with most of them, especially the ones from early in the week.
But every single one of those 7 songs, you could still sing, start to finish, without hesitating. And maybe a friend even catches you humming one of those songs on the street, and you don't even notice you're doing it.
That's happened to me. Someone pointed it out, and I hadn't even realized the song was playing in my head at all.
Meanwhile, nobody's friend has ever caught them quietly muttering flashcard vocabulary to themselves on the street.
Haha, no, that would be a strange thing to witness. And this isn't even the surprising part yet. Let's go further. Now let's fast forward again. It's the same routine, but 4 weeks later.
You've done this every single day. 10 flashcard words each morning, 1 song each day on the bus.
That's 300 flashcard words total, and about 30 songs.
By the end of the month, you'd probably remember maybe 15 or 20 flashcard words out of that 300.
But you'd probably still be able to sing most of those 30 songs, even the ones from week 1.
15 out of 300 versus almost 30 out of 30.
That gap is the whole point of this episode.
And it's not really about vocabulary versus music. It's about forced versus felt.
It's not that flashcards are useless. It's that they're missing almost everything your brain actually needs to hold on to something.
Melody, emotion, and a reason you actually chose to repeat it.
All 3 missing at once. No wonder the words don't stay.
And it's worth saying, this isn't unique to this one person in this one scenario. This happens to basically everyone who's ever tried to learn a language through lists alone. So where does that leave us? I don't think the answer is throw away your flashcards.
No, definitely not. But maybe the answer is to notice what's missing when you study, and try to add it back in.
Like turning a plain sentence into something with rhythm, saying it out loud with feeling, not just reading it silently.
Or connecting a new word to something that actually happened to you, instead of just a translation on a card.
Even something small works. If a word reminds you of a person or a place or an argument you had, let it keep that connection instead of stripping it away.
And if you can put a word inside a song, even a song you make up yourself, badly, in the shower,
especially in the shower,
it'll probably outlast 100 flashcard reviews.
because at the end of the day, you don't remember what you repeat. You remember what you feel.
That's really the whole thing, isn't it? Not right or wrong, just paying attention to what your own memory is asking for.
Your brain was never being lazy or difficult. It was just being honest about what actually matters to it.
So maybe the real question isn't, how do I memorize better? Maybe it's, what would make this word matter to me?
And that question is going to have a different answer for everyone watching this.
Which is kind of the beauty of it. There's no single trick that works the same way for all of us.
For me, it's melody. For you, it sounds like it's a strong memory attached to a moment.
True. And honestly, that's probably why we work well doing this together. We each notice a different piece of the same puzzle. For someone else, it might be movement, or a joke, or a person they said the word to.
Whatever it is, that's the thread worth pulling on.
So maybe next time you sit down with a vocabulary list, ask yourself one small question first.
What question?
What would make me actually want to remember this one? Not, how do I force it in, but what would make it matter?
That's a much kinder question to ask yourself, honestly.
It really is, and it probably works a lot better too.
Actually, since we asked everyone else, I'll answer my own question first. There's one English phrase I still remember from a trip I took years ago, and I never once wrote it down.
What was it?
Someone said it to me right after I completely embarrassed myself trying to order food. It wasn't a phrase from a lesson. It was just a moment I couldn't forget even if I tried.
See, that's exactly it. You didn't study that phrase. Life handed it to you, attached to something real.
Exactly. And that's the difference we've been talking about this whole time.
So really, the takeaway isn't a study hack. It's more like a way of paying attention.
Noticing which words already have something real attached to them and which ones are still just sitting there, waiting for a reason to matter. So here's our last question for you. What's one word or phrase in English that you remember because of a strong feeling, not because you studied it?
Tell us in the comments. We genuinely want to know.
And if this episode changed how you think about your own learning, even a little, subscribing helps more people find these conversations.
Thanks for being here with us.
See you next time.